The latest of those, always welcome, always a pleasure to chat with State Rep Danny McCormick. Hey, Mr. Danny, welcome back to Kiel. Good morning. How are you today, sir?
Good morning. Doing great. Just up here in North Cattle Parish and enjoying the day. How about y'all?
You know, Erin and I chatting before the show started, and she's kind of running down the headlines, and she did this on purpose. She says, "Oh, my goodness." I said, "What?" She says, "Danny McCormick wants to do away with concealed carry." I said, "Hold on a second. I'm not falling for that." Start from the beginning. Tell us about your proposed legislation, what it would do, and more specifically, why.
It's House Bill 72, and right now, if you carry a firearm concealed, you're required to take a class and pay for a permit, and this just actually does away with that the cost of doing that. In Louisiana right now, it's legal to open carry a pistol on your belt. But if you put a coat over it, it's now concealed, and now you're a criminal if you don't have a permit. So this it's giving our constitutional rights back to open carry without a permit. That's basically what it does.
So, Danny, while you've got a lot of folks on the left screaming for more gun control, you want to ease up. What are your chances? You got a shot?
Oh, I think it's a slam dunk. I mean, Aaron, you'd be surprised how people are really concerned about their liberties nowadays and the environment that we live in. And running this bill was the number one asked question I had knocking on doors in my district. So people are concerned about their liberties. They're concerned about taking ground back instead of giving up more ground. So it's a very popular bill.
Did Aaron mention to me, or did I read this somewhere else, that you had referred to the fee to get a concealed carry permit? You said, it's just another tax. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, it's better known as the coat tax. If you want to put a coat over your firearm, you have to pay this fee. So, yes, we call it the coat tax.
Okay, so let me approach this from the other side, because as you had mentioned, as we've talked about it here on Kiel, that in Louisiana, you do not need a license to open carry, as opposed to Texas, where I think you do. Why wouldn't you take it in the other direction if you want to be consistent? Maybe in Louisiana, there should be licensing for open carry so that you can prove that people at all levels have had some kind of training.
Well, I think it's a misnomer that this it's unsafe that you paying a fee to the government and taking a government-required class does not make you any safer. This is actually a trend across the country. There are now 16 states that have constitutional carry, which is what we call being able to carry concealed without a permit. So it's also it's in our Second Amendment rights. Nowhere in the Second Amendment do you have to pay a fee to own and carry a firearm. So that's just we're headed back towards the Constitution instead of away from it.
Danny, have you run this by Sheriff Prater, the other sheriffs across the region? How do they feel about it?
I haven't. I plan to meet with Sheriff Prater. I haven't met with him per se. I have met with some of the other sheriffs, and I haven't met with any resistance whatsoever. And also, like we said, this is a constitutional right in a country where we're losing our rights right and left. I think the people think it's important that we start taking our rights back. And also, you got to realize too, Aaron, is this is an expensive fee to pay. If you're poor or lower middle class, you're not able to carry your weapon to defend yourself if you're not able to pay this fee. So, for the people that are middle class, upper middle class, maybe paying this money and taking a day off to go take this class is fine. But people are quite capable of training each other too. So, this just allows something's a constitutional right that's being charged for that shouldn't be charged for.
So you're in committee right now. Walk me through the process. What's the plan? What's the time frame? What are you hoping for?
Well, we've got several people that want to testify from all different races, all different backgrounds that want to come testify in behalf. So my bill hasn't been scheduled when it's going to be heard yet, but when it's going to be heard, we're going to have a lot of support there. We've got hundreds and headed towards thousands of petitions signed where people are asking their lawmakers to do this. And it's also for the gun owners that are listening out there, it's important for them to know this does not do away with the permitting process. Like you said, in Texas, to carry concealed, you have to have a permit. And right now we have a reciprocal agreement with Texas. If you have a Louisiana permit, you can carry concealed in Texas. So we're not doing away with the permitting process. So, and I actually, in other states, it shows the more people that carry concealed, actually the permits go up because people want to get these reciprocal agreements to carry in other states too.
The gun shops that train, that have these concealed carry classes, are you expecting to meet some resistance from them?
Not at all. I think all of them will fully support this. Like I said, I think that this type of bill promotes more gun ownership, not less. So I don't expect to. I've never heard of a gun shop pushing back against this type of legislation because they're very, very constitutionally minded.
Wrapping up, Mr. Danny, earlier in the conversation, you used the word, I think this is a slam dunk. Tell me that again. You really think that this bill is going to breeze through, just slide right through, and I'll say it again, you think it's a slam dunk?
Well, I don't know about breeze right through. I'm sure there'll be some pushback along the way, but it's no doubt the majority of the people that I've ever spoken with in Louisiana by far want this. They think it's a silly rule. It's a silly rule that you can put a gun on your hip and be legal, but if you put a coat over it, now you're a criminal. So, and just like the freedom of the press, we don't think we should have to pay a fee to say what we think. We shouldn't have to have a permit to use certain words. So,
if it passes, you expect the governor to sign it?
I would. I honestly do. I don't think he can call himself a Second Amendment supporter if he doesn't sign it. So, I really would. He's going to tarnish his image as not of supporting the Second Amendment if he doesn't sign it.